Hello, my name is Dominic Reed and I'm the CEO of the Invictus Games Foundation. And I'd like to welcome everybody to our 9th conversation. We're really lucky. We've got support from the Armed Forces Covenant Fund Trust, Better Up, Boeing, the Fisher House Foundation and ISPS Handler. I'd like to thank them all for the support to make this live stream possible. And I'm going to introduce our facilitator, Jaco van Gass MBE. He's an Invictus alumnus and a Paralympic gold medalist. Jaco, over to you.
Dominic, thank you very much, and a very warm welcome to everyone on this call today. Wow, it's amazing to hear that this is already the 9th edition of this streaming. Today's conversation is the importance of life beyond the games. And on a personal matter, I think this is a very, very important topic. And as we go through the session today, it's broken up in 3 different panels. And on each of these panels, we will have a number of speakers who are experts in their field or, just have a point of view, and that will give you more information of the topic matter that we will be talking about on these 3 panels. On panel 1, it's about the development and growth of beyond the games. Panel 2 is empowering the We Are Invictus community. And panel 3 will consist of the Invictus Endeavor adventures. I would also like to remind everyone that we have an in-chat function. So please utilize that if you have any questions to myself or any of our speakers on the panels or any of the discussion, please pop them in there and hopefully we can answer all your questions to the best of our ability. Also, there is some speaker bios available on the reattendance platform. So please familiarize yourself on the platform. We are going to introduce our speakers, but there's a lot more information and background on all of them. So if you want to get to know them better and see the amazing things that they've done and about their history and what they've been up to today, please go and visit their bios. Speaking about bios, I'll give you a very brief self-introduction about myself. I served 5 years within the Parachute Regiment in the British Army. It was on my 2nd tour of duty to Afghanistan when I was hit by an RPG and I sustained life-changing injuries. I did all of my rehabilitation through Headley Court, and it's actually here where I realized and recognized the importance that sport play in our rehabilitation, and not just mine, but probably most people on this call and a lot of people in our audience and so many others, and not just on separate occasions, but on a daily basis, how important sport played a role in getting us better on a daily basis, week by week, month after month, and onto what we've then gone on to achieve furthermore. I've had the wonderful opportunity to partook in 2 of the Invictus Games, the inaugural one in 2014 in London and also the one in 2016 in Orlando. I then had the wonderful opportunity to actually work as a cycling pundit at the games held in Toronto. And it just shows, again, the platform that the Invictus Games can lay, where you can start and where you can start heading to. I then continued my passion for cycling and sport, and I became a part of the British cycling team, or a member of them, representing them in World Championship levels, and also going on to represent Great Britain at the Tokyo Games in 2021. And now I'm in final preparations for another World Championships, and obviously with my aim and focus towards Paris next year. I also sit on the Programs Advisory Board for the Invictus Endeavors. So having got a bit of a background of what we're going to be talking about and having seen a program actually progress over the years is just amazing. So without further ado, let's go into our first panel, the discussion about developing and growth of beyond the games. On this panel, we're going to have Dominic, Michaela, Josh, and Angelo joining us for this discussion. Welcome to everyone. Please, can I ask that you can introduce yourself. Dominic, if we can start with you, just 10-15 seconds of what you really want our audience and our members to know a little bit about you, and then we can go into further discussions after that.
Thanks, Jaco. Well, as I said, I'm the CEO of the Invictus Games Foundation. I was involved right at the start in setting up the games in 2014. I did serve in the regular army. I did a short service limited commission a very, very long time ago in the Royal Artillery. And I've also been a reservist and most recently an honorary colonel. So I do have some service. It's not nearly as inspirational as pretty much everybody else on the call. But the Invictus movement is a passion of mine, and it's a great privilege to be part of it.
That's amazing. Michaela?
Hi everyone, I'm Michaela Richards, or more well known as Mickey. I served for 9 years in the Royal Navy as a weapons engineer, and then unfortunately sustained an injury within service and was medically discharged. Competed in the very first Invictus Games in London, and I'm now the Grants and Programs Director at the Invictus Games Foundation.
Josh?
Hi, Jaco. Good to see you. I, like yourself, jumped out of airplanes for a few years until I was unfortunately injured in Afghanistan on my third tour. I stepped on an improvised explosive device which triggered beneath me, resulting in the loss of both my legs and my right arm. I, like yourself, went on to participate in the inaugural Invictus Games in London, then in Orlando, and now I find myself working for the Invictus Games Foundation.
Amazing. And last but not least, Angelo, can you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. My name is Angelo Anderson. As you probably can hear, I am American and the newest addition to the foundation. Glad to be here. A little bit about myself besides that is I was in the United States Navy for 14 years. I sustained multiple gunshot wounds during my deployment in Afghanistan, which resulted in a broken femur and a broken humerus in my upper right arm. So adaptive sports was very pivotal in my recovery. And I competed at the 2014 and the 2016 Invictus Games and have continued to use and hopefully inspire others to use sports as a form of their recovery as well. So it means so much to me.
Amazing. Well, welcome to all of you, one of all. Thank you very much. We're going to go to Dominic first. Dominic, beyond the games. So tell us a little bit more about this. It works alongside the Invictus Foundation and some of the activities that it has to offer. What's the importance of this and then the WIS community? Can you tell us more about that?
Well, I think beyond the games is very important to everybody. You've got to remember that only a select few actually get to compete. We know there are lots and lots of people who aspire to be members of their national teams who don't make selection. So what's on offer for everybody is the beyond the games activity. And it's important to say, I think, right at the outset, that this is accessible to everybody. You don't have to have competed. You don't need to be a member of a team. You do need to be a whiz. And then you've got access to these adventures and challenges. And there's a really wide selection of adventurous activity, multi-day expeditions and those sort of things, and challenges which can range across a whole variety of things, whether it's be competing against other people, on a bike at home, but doing it via the internet, so that you're actually competing. So there's a huge amount of activity out there. It's available to the whole WIS community. You don't have to be a competitor. And I think another thing that's really important to say is that the program, which is a brilliant program, is run by WIS themselves. So you've got Josh and Mickey and Fee, and they are absolutely exemplars of the community. They're fantastic people to work with. They've had their own experiences, which we've heard a little bit about, but it's a really, really fantastic package. And of course, it allows us to give the benefit of Invictus to many more people than we can through the games. I mean, we think that this year 621 people have benefited so far, and for every games, and a games only happens every 2 years, there's 500 competitors. So it's a great mechanism for us to be able to spread the love, if you like.
That's truly amazing, and it's really good to hear as well. Like you say, that the people that you're in touch with and the people sitting on this panel and the people actually running the platforms are all also from the community and have partook in the games. And even more so what you just mentioned there, and I think which is really important, that it's not just for people that's actually partook in a games in the past, that it's actually open to all of the WIS, whether you've partaken in the games or not. It's open for everyone to be part of this platform and to go on to the activities and the sport that's available to them.
Absolutely.
Michaela, we're going to come to you next. Dominic mentioned briefly about the We Are Invictus platform. Can you tell us a bit more about what this is and how can some of our WIS community access this?
Yeah, sure. So We Are Invictus is a free platform that's available to all wounded, injured and sick servicemen and women, whether they're serving or veteran. And it's a closed, safe space for them to connect with each other internationally and get involved in all of the different opportunities we have, whether that's Invictus Adventures, which is our program, our grant-based program, which is multi-day activity, or our Invictus challenges, which are single-day non-grant-based activities. And like Dominic touched on, it's really incredible that, you know, we're a team of 4 that run the platform and all of the Beyond the Games activity, and newly getting Angelo on board out in the States. And what that allows us to do is really engage with the community that we serve and their particular needs, which are different from nation to nation. And we also do that through We Are Invictus moderators, one of which you'll meet later on in panel 2, who are our eyes and ears on the ground and let us know firsthand what the community want. And then also by reaching out to the members of the We Are Invictus community. So I'm really proud to let everybody know that with the amount of feedback that we've had, where the WIS community wanted real-time engagement and to be able to connect to each other, we are bringing chat room functionality live to the platform at the end of summer. And what this means is you may have a WIS talking in English, but it will automatically translate to French, German, Ukrainian, and they'll type in their first language, but it will be back to you in real time in your language. So we're really, really excited for that. And in terms of the criteria to gain access to the platform, as Dominic said, you need to be wounded, injured and sick as a direct consequence of service or within service. If you're worried that you're not sure whether you meet that criteria, please reach out to us and we'll work with you to see if that works. But again, you don't need to have trialed at the games. You don't have to have competed in the games. Just be wounded, injured, and sick within service or as a direct consequence of service. And then to gain access to the app, you can do this 2 ways. It's an app-based and there's web-based. So the app-based, you can download We Are Invictus on both the Apple Store and the Google Play Store, or you can access, if you've got a computer or a laptop, by going to www.weareinvictus.co.uk to gain access to all of the community and all its offerings.
That is amazing. Now, I just wanted to touch. So one of the new functionalities that you mentioned there is the fact that people can actually communicate in their own language, which I think is a fantastic offer that we're putting out there. It means there's much less communication breakdown within the different communities that we speak all around the world. Is there anything else on the platform that you want to mention or coming on, or is that kind of it? That's the new exciting thing.
Yeah, that's the newest one. So that is translated into 21 different languages. So it's a real task for us to be doing. But again, we're looking at more feedback from the community on what comes in next after that comes in at the end of summer.
That's really exciting. And I would love to see that rolled out and how it functions. And again, just communicating with those WIS all around the world. Josh, we're going to come to you next. You mentioned your role very briefly early on, the Invictus Community Liaison Executive. Now that sounds really smart. It's a nice title. Can you tell us a little bit more about your role within the foundation, please?
Brilliant. Thanks, Jaco. Yeah, I struggle to get that job title out all the time as well, so don't worry. So I work alongside Mickey, Fee, who we're going to hear about in panel 3, and Angelo, who's in this panel as well. And I'm basically the face behind We Are Invictus. I deal with the day-to-day run of the platform, so tasks ranging from onboarding and verifying members of the We Are Invictus WIS community to posting opportunities and dealing with requests and queries. What's great about the platform for me is that we collaborate with different organisations such as Mission Motorsport, Op Fortitude, Op Courage in the UK, Waterloo Uncovered, just to name a few. We've also recently collaborated with Invictus Australia off the back of a successful True Grit endeavour. We can now offer places on True Grit, obstacle style events all over Australia, alongside Invictus Endeavors, alongside Invictus in Australia, to get more WIS engaged in sports recovery. It's not just about ops though. We also signpost WIS so they know what's available within their own communities, within their nations. I run Invictus Challenges alongside Angelo, who's just coming on board now to give me a hand, which I'm really appreciative of. And Invictus Challenges are single day opportunities. One of the best parts of the job for me, though, is just being out there in the community, speaking to international WIS, hearing about their recovery journeys and asking them what opportunities they would like us to offer.
Josh, thank you for that. A bit of an off-the-cuff question for you based on that as well. Have you yourself, having partaken in some of the endeavors or the opportunities, or is there potentially someone that you've seen that stands out for you that have gone on to one of these wonderful opportunities and seen the difference that it made to them? Is there someone like this, or like I said, or even a personal record of that?
So for me personally, I had a setback in my recovery in 2019, so I've gone on to participate in an opportunity. This year I participated in Ride London after a bike crash in 2019. So that's my personal sort of recovery journey. I've seen others. People talk about it. We're there to get the guy off the sofa or the girl off the sofa who's struggling and get them out into the world. And we provide different opportunities nationally and internationally to help always within their recovery journeys. We do this through, well, for me personally, through Invictus Challenges and Invictus Endeavors, again, which my colleague Fee will talk about. But Invictus Challenges have a wide range of opportunities for everyone, whether that range from virtual opportunities like the Tour de Invictus that's going on at the moment. Jaco, you participated in a few years ago. It's a virtual cycling challenge that follows the route of the Tour de France. Teams of up to 8 have got 3 weeks to cover the 2,200 so miles that the pros will do, and that's running at the moment. We've also got our virtual powered by Invictus sporting leagues open to all international members of the Wounded and Sick community. Via the app, you can basically sign up, take on whichever challenge has been offered, and see how you fare against the international community, and whether you can improve your times whether you can improve your times over the length of the challenge. The leagues are designed to help participants feel connected to the wider Invictus community as well. So whether it's focusing on a physical challenge, that element of friendly competition, we all have a bit of competition in our recovery journey, and you can see how you're getting on in the league tables. We also offer sort of in-person challenges as well. So this year in February, we had 16 Colombians take on the Gran Fondo Matamoros cycling challenge in Colombia, where they either competed in 29K for new WIS on there, just getting out on the bike for the first time, a bit harder on 60, and the 105K event, which was really hilly, which you'd have loved as well, Jaco. At the end of May this year, 16 WIS from 5 nations participated with over 25,000 people in Ride London, Essex. I was there. Angelo was there as well. It's an amazing event, just being out there riding with members of the WIS community. That's just a tiny snippet though, of our virtual and in-person challenges. On the platform at the moment, applications are open for the Royal Parks Half Marathon, the Sydney Marathon, the Canada Army Run, and many other challenges. If you're interested, just please check the We Are Invictus app. We are a humble team of we are a humble team of 4, and we do pack a big punch for us 4. We're always keen to hear from the WIS community as well. Tell us what you want, what opportunities you'd like to see in your country, internationally. Just drop us a message on We Are Invictus.
That's amazing, mate. No, it's truly wonderful to hear all about that, and some amazing challenges coming up and some great stuff to get stuck into for everyone there. And finally, Angelo, wonderful to see you, wonderful to speak to you. You're one of the new members to the We Are Invictus community and family. Speak to us a little bit about your role and how you foresee that coming and what you want to achieve within that role that you're taking on now.
Perfect. Thank you. Good to see everyone. Jacob, thank you as well. It's such an exciting opportunity to join the Invictus Games Foundation as the Invictus Endeavors Administrator. This is such a key role in helping to continue and build and maintain the We Are Invictus community. It's so robust. It has a momentum that's been going on since 2014's games, and we just want to build. And in my role, I will take on this head first. A community in which the relationship between the organizations that provide these opportunities have a funnel, if you will, to the people that want to actually use it to inspire and improve in their rehabilitation process. So an example for us here in the US, and I hope that this will continue to spread through the other 23 nations, our military treatment facilities have a lot of opportunities to grasp, touch, reach those guys and gals that need something outside of sport and also in sport to use to say, hey, you know what, I'll take this back with me in my community, from which, you know, it will just create a seed and spread through others that need to just have something inspire them, something as an outlet. And it's not just a traditional recovery. So my role in a nutshell is to continue to promote and also be a router, if you will, to get the bandwidth of what the games itself and what other opportunities, like Jaco said, like Josh said, like Ride London, you know, that was the first time I've ever done a century, but coming back here off the back of that and saying, hey, you know, there's a Tour de Invictus virtual challenge going on. You may not have done the 100-miler with us in Ride London, but why not like log in, challenge your friends and family to also do something that can help inspire others, you know? So it's my role to continue to be that amplifier, that voice amplifier of opportunities as such.
That is really amazing. That's really good. Michaela, I think we've got one question through the in-house chat. I think we have. It's from Andy, and he says, "Is there any chance we don't need to log in?" And I seem to be like probably all the details all the time. Every time we nearly use it, well, every time we use the app, is there something, an update coming in that can be a Face ID or recognition or something like that, or it remembers your kind of login details rather than logging in all the time?
Yeah, no problem. And actually, you've caught me out when you asked the question on functionality. This is the latest piece that we've put in actually because it was asked for by the community. So I would check first that you're on the latest version of the We Are Invictus app, because we now have autofill password on there. So you won't need to put in the login details every time. And it also should only ask for it once a month. So if that isn't the case, let me know, but please make sure you're on the latest version of the We Are Invictus app.
That's good news to hear. Like I say, I think there's a lot of us that's actually quite a bit slow on some of the technologies, myself included. I put my hand up. So having a Face ID or something recognition, once you put it in once and it remembers your password, I'm all up for that. So that sounds great if those technologies or upgrades is coming to the functional app. That's our panel done. Well, the first panel for today. Thank you all for your input. Thank you very much for all the amazing stats and stories that we've heard today. We're now going to have a video played next. And this is a little video, and you're going to see our famous Josh Bodgy in it again. And it's really just he's basically a bit of his sporting recovery through the lens of cycling. So please play the video.
Cycling to me is my freedom. I should be dead, I shouldn't be here doing this. It's that sense of being alive, that's what it is to me. You literally got this bike on the edge. This is the best feeling in the world. So my name's Jaco van Gass. I'm the Invictus Games Community Liaison Executive at the Invictus Games Foundation. I was unfortunately injured in 2010 on my third tour of Afghanistan. I stepped on an improvised explosive device which triggered beneath me, resulting in me losing both my legs through the knee and my right arm below the elbow. I realised that I needed to get some sort of challenge back in my life, some sort of goal to strive towards. And this is where I came into hand cycling. Got on the bike and fell in love with it straight away. You don't need an expensive bike. You can go and get on a mountain bike. You can go and get on a cheap bike. You can get out and just go and ride a mile, but you've got yourself off the sofa. The Invictus Games Foundation was set up to support the rehabilitation of wounded, injured and sick personnel from around the world, not just during the Games, but post-Games as well. In 2014, when I first heard about the Invictus Games, I remember competing in London at the velodrome, at the velo park around the old London velodrome, which was the velodrome for the 2012 Olympics, and there were thousands of people there watching. I managed to win a bronze medal in London. It had given me the bug, it had given me the love of riding this bike. I went away, started riding the bike full time, and I was losing weight, mentally in a good place, physically in a good place. not just training for the Invictus Games, but training to races in the UK, in Europe. When I did the race across America in 2017, it was with a team of injured lads, and you as a team are racing against the clock to get from one side of America to the other. When you're on the road, you're digging out, you're working as hard as you can, not for yourself, but for your team. And doing events like the race across America, or even in the Invictus Games, cycling with teammates from your own country in races, trying to help each other out, I love it. Cycling has not only just kept me physically fit, my core to be strong, so I can walk on my prosthetic legs, so I can push a wheelchair if I'm in a wheelchair, so I can chase my little girl around the house. Physically, I'm able to use prosthetics because I'm physically fit. But mentally as well, that sometimes the sun isn't shining, or we're in COVID lockdowns, etc. So virtually I use Zwift, which is a virtual online platform where I've met up with other guys from the Invictus Games Foundations on Sunday social rides that are run by members of the wounded, injured and sick community. There's also the Powered by Invictus Leagues, which are virtual online leagues. They're reset every quarter of the year, so different challenges are set every 3 months. Cycling's a great way of supporting the international community. Virtually, through the Tour de Invictus, through the Powered by Invictus League, you'll have guys from Italy competing against guys from America. The Colombians have come on board now. They're going to start competing against the rest of the world, the Nigerians, the Israelis. It's just that sense of community. We are all one community. We've all got those shared experiences of having worn a uniform and served our countries. I was in Mallorca in 2019 with friends and family. I remember coming through the tunnel at the top of the Pygmalion in Mallorca, just started descending down to the sea, and in my head I'm thinking, 10-mile descent, it's taken me 4 hours to get up here, I'm going to enjoy this. I went to brake to go into a hairpin, and unfortunately my front tyre on my bike blew. I lost control and I skidded into a lorry. Further 6 inches of amputation to my leg, broken femur, contracted sepsis over there. It went really wrong. And this was just showing you that life's got these highs, but it's got these lows. But fortunately, I'd been through that recovery process already. And for me, post-injury the second time, I couldn't wait to get back on my bike, even though that had nearly cost me my life again. That's what cycling means to me. It's my way of staying physically fit and mentally fit. The world's opening up. The wounded and injured sick community are able to get involved with in-person events again, like Ride London, for instance. We had the 5-borough bike ride last year in New York City, where again members of the wounded, injured and sick community were cycling around New York, around Manhattan. The roads were closed. These in-person events are great. Virtual stuff's brilliant, in-person stuff's brilliant, riding your bike's brilliant. Cycling's a massive deal for the Invictus Games Foundation. The last games, for example, the closing ceremony, the flag being taken down, folded, and then exchanged with the guys from Dusseldorf, who then cycled off the stage and rode the flag all the way to Dusseldorf. It's been a massive part in the games in the past, and it's going to be a massive part in Dusseldorf. It's just great seeing the guys and girls of the wounded, injured and sick community taking part and hopefully getting out of it what I got out of cycling. And that's why I really enjoy the job I do, and that's why I want to keep on doing these sort of virtual challenges and hopefully some more in-person challenges in the future.
Wow, so inspirational, and it's great to see you back on your bike, Josh. We are now going to head into panel 2, empowering the We Are Invictus community. And I'm very excited to host this one. We're going to now hear from really the guys that it really matters. These are the guys that's been on the ground. They've been involved in everything, and they're doing wonderful things all around the world. So without further ado, I want to welcome on this panel Robert, Gabriel, John, and Irina. Guys, wonderful to see all of you. Thank you so much for taking the time to joining us today. This is a discussion I would really love to kind of get our teeth stuck into. Similar to before, as the other panels, can you please just take a couple of seconds to introduce yourself, a little bit of what you've done, what you've been through, and where you are now, basically just what you want the audience to know and hear about you. And we're going to start from the top. Robert or Tiny, can you please lead the role here?
Sure, Ken. Kia ora morena from God's Own. Yep, Mum and Dad named me Robert, but as soon as I joined the army, because of my height, they named me Tiny, and it's stuck ever since. So 27 years in the New Zealand Army, and I now work for the New Zealand Defence Force as a logistics advisor. So I've been in that role for 12 years also. I was very fortunate enough to attend the Toronto and Sydney Games as an athlete, and then was brought on board for the Hague Games, which unfortunately we were unable to attend in the end, as a wheelchair basketball and rugby coach and a team mentor. And then I leaped at the opportunity to become a We Are Invictus moderator.
That's amazing. Thank you, Tiny. That's brilliant. Next up, we have Gabriel. Please, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Major Gabriel Lion. I'm an officer in the Romanian Army, and I started to work and to help my comrades wounded as a volunteer in 2014. And now I'm coordinating the team, and I try to have them prepared for the Invictus Games. I was deployed 3 times in Afghanistan, and I'm very proud to be near my comrades.
Amazing. Well, thank you for your service, and 3 times to Afghanistan. That's significant. Oh, wonderful. We have Irina on as well. Next up, we have John. John, please, can you take this opportunity to introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, John Conley from sunny Tampa, Florida. I served 24 years active duty in the United States Marine Corps, retired. I did 9 combat tours over in the Middle East in that area, and I've been part of Beyond the Games for over 2 years now.
That is amazing. Wow, over 2 years now. And just in time, absolutely perfect timing, Irina, you have just joined us. Please, can you just take a few seconds to introduce yourself and just what you want ourselves and some of our audience members want to know and to hear about you, and then we'll go into discussion after that.
Hello to everybody. My name is Irina Rubtsova. I'm from Ukraine, and I'm here because my husband was he was a military guy, and he died last year in a war with Russia. So I'm on behalf of him here, unfortunately.
We are so sorry to hear about your loss, and we just want to say thank you very much for your time, and actually for now being part of our community in quite a different way. And we'll come more to that a little bit later on in our discussion. So thank you so much. Tiny, we're going to come to you first. You are one of our New Zealand We Are Invictus moderators. Please, can you tell me a little bit about, do we have help to connect the New Zealand community and the Beyond the Games activities? So can you please just tell us a little bit how you've done that and how that's running?
Yeah, sure. I suppose if you could put it in a one-liner, we as moderators, we're the conduit between the We Are Invictus community and our in-country WIS. What that entails is a number of things. So first and foremost is to contact our WIS and get them involved in the We Are Invictus community itself, as has been explained by a number of people, and especially Michaela. The opportunities there are not just locally but internationally, and talking, communicating and seeing what like-minded individuals are doing is something that's pretty prominent in, I think, everyone's journey of recovery. So yeah, making contact with our WIS in our community and getting them into the We Are Invictus community itself by registering through on the app, and then touching base with them to see what activities within country and looking throughout the WIS internationally, the We Are Invictus internationally, what activities, recreational sporting, are available out there and what they consider may help them or others in their journey as well. So, and for us, I think here in New Zealand, we're quite lucky with the environment that we do have that offers all of those activities, a wide range. So it's just trying to get an activity that will involve as many people as we can, noting the travel requirements to get there. And yeah, it's pretty much what I could, getting into the community and seeing what other people are doing is just phenomenal.
No, it's an amazing job you guys are doing. So New Zealand, or Team New Zealand, sadly, as you mentioned earlier in your intro, couldn't come to the previous Invictus Games. So it's actually been since Sydney 2018 since we have a Team New Zealand representing us at the Invictus Games. You are coming to Düsseldorf, which is amazing, which is not long to go, only a few months. Can you talk us a little bit, was there any challenges, or how do you remain in contact with some of the community, or how do you keep them motivating during their recovery, during these times when there's such a long period of time to actually stay committed? Obviously, now there's a great opportunity coming up, but it's quite a big time. How have you used the app or anything that you found? How did you communicate with the community, keep them committed, and obviously keeping their rehabilitation going?
Yeah, as you could understand, we're a fairly small nation, and our WIS community is small as well. Mm-hmm. But in saying that, because of that, of how we're built, we're pretty easily contactable. We through the We Are Invictus app community and through our email and Facebook pages, we keep fairly well connected. Yeah, unfortunately, we couldn't make The Hague because of our COVID stance, but I think that brought us even closer together. And it was just unfortunate that we were just so close to coming to The Hague, and then obviously COVID struck. Likewise, unfortunately, after that, we'd had made that commitment not to attend. We actually lost our youngest team member. And that brought us even closer together as a WIS community. And through the kindness of the We Are Invictus community, we were able to conduct a couple of activities here within New Zealand that, again, brought all our team together. We had a big reunion in 2021, so we had about 100 personnel from previous games from London, Orlando, Toronto, and Sydney attend, both athletes and friends and family. And that just brought our community again closer together. Add on to that, we managed to conduct a couple of endeavours here within New Zealand. The Mara, which is kind of like a tough guy, tough girl challenge, was in a farmlet in the central North Island, done over about 6 kilometres. There were 2 events, a 3 and a 6. Unfortunately, the weather was atrocious, and it just added to the fact that there was more mud, more rain, and made the activity a lot more challenging, which is really good, because by the time you got to the end, you know you had achieved something, both as an individual and as a team. And then just recently, we were fortunate enough to do another activity, which we called Land, Sea and Air. So it encompassed our 3 single services, and activities were based within those environments. So within the land construct, we actually cycled or mountain biked the southern coast of the Wellington Harbour. So that was about 30, 35 Ks over varying terrain. And again, unlike it is in New Zealand, the weather was quite atrocious. So that was a bit challenging. And through the sea side of things, we did dragon boat racing with a local community cancer group. And again, we were new to dragon boat racing, so the challenge was set against these group of 20-odd ladies, and it was just a fantastic day. Then we took the group and we did our free diving on a local reserve, marine reserve, for about a couple of hours. And again, I'd say out of our group, there were about 4 or 5 that hadn't actually done any diving before. So showing them a moray eel or a crayfish was quite entertaining, looking down from above.
That's amazing.
And then that culminated in doing what we call an adrenaline forest. So it was a high ropes in the forest, and it ranged from 5 different levels, going right up to 75 feet in the air. I didn't quite manage that, but it looked terrifying anyway. And then we finished it off with what we call in Māoridom Miri Miri and Romi Romi, and it's a Māori spiritual massage and therapy session, which lasted about 2 hours. And after the whole weekend, which was done over 4 days, it just culminated everything in a relaxing environment. So through the Invictus Games Foundation and the We Are Invictus platform communities, they've been tremendous to us here in New Zealand. And from what I've seen on the platform itself, again to internationally.
Absolutely amazing, Tiny. It's so good to hear such a wide range of activities as well. So it's not all just action packed, and it's not all just, like you say, from the Tough Mudder to the dragon boat racing, to actually also some meditation and some relaxing stuff. So which is fantastic. So we applaud you and we thank you for your work over there and keeping that community so active. It sounds like you guys are really busy, but no, well done. Gabby, we're gonna come over to you now. You and the Romanian WIS community have put some incredible events on beyond the games. How do you manage all these opportunities? And how did the Invictus Games Foundation been able to aid you and support you in your mission to support the Romanian WIS community up to now?
Yes, indeed. Prince Harry and his team from IGF inspired the Romanian WIS through their recovery process, and in the same time inspired an entire community here in Romania. And we are proud to say we have more than 1 million people involved in Invictus projects, organizing events and also participating in sporting and cultural events, and all the time wearing our t-shirt, which shows us they are with us and help us. I have a little presentation, if you can help me to put on the screen.
Yep.
Indeed, when we talk about Invictus in Romania, we have volunteering side and the Invictus project, which is about our wounded soldiers. And our volunteers, they are doing very wonderful things here in Romania. I will start with the wounded soldiers, how we are preparing for the Invictus Games. We have individual training activities, training camps, and also cultural and sporting activities. On their training activities, most of the time they are training in their hometown, where they have all facilities needed and all equipment and the coach, which help them to evaluate all the time. But we are proudly to say some of our WIS are already coaches for their comrades, because they love so much their sports and evaluate it every day. In the same time, our WIS participate in many national and international competitions. And one of our WIS in only 6 years is already European champions in recurve archery. And others are national champions in athletics and in powerlifting. Also, our WIS participate in all opportunities offered by the Invictus Games Foundation, and we had some WIS in Operation Gunner Site in Norway, in Para Snow Sports Championship Endeavor in Colorado, and also in High Atlas circuit, and they are very happy with all these participations. Also, virtual events helps us a lot to keep our WIS connected with sports, and there were a lot of events like this one, virtual London Marathon, for example, Tour d'Invictus, British rowing. Also, we organize here, supported by our volunteers, many events dedicated to children with disabilities, and our WIS try to inspire them to not say no, and every time to look in the future and to find solution for their own way. Also, we create other events, and we are going in schools and promote the Invictus spirit and educate the next generation. Our volunteers and our WIS promote the Invictus spirit in every event where they are participating, and as you can see, we are very happy to be involved in the sporting events of Romanian community. Also, with the support of the Invictus Games Foundation, we try to organize some multinational events, and our comrades from Ukraine, from UK were with us this year in Tree of Peace event, in Invictus Half Marathon in Bistrița, and also on Invictus Week, which was a cycling event organized here in Bucharest. More than that, from time to time, our WIS are going back to the military life because they're in their soul to be military. Military didn't end anytime, so we are helping them to be connected with their comrades from the active military life. Also, our WIS are inspiring military students, and in the same time, we try to have them in many television shows could promote the Invictus spirit all around the country. Also, we are going in Parliament, and have you you can see in the slide, everybody is wearing the Invictus t-shirt. We have some meritorious WIS, which every time are very appreciated from our higher level, and we will not forget anymore our comrades, and with any occasion we commemorate our fallen comrades. These were some activities which are where our WIS are involved, but in the same time we have our volunteers projects, and in every of their projects they invite the wounded soldiers to participate as special guests, and we are proud to show you so many events, so many sporting events which we organized every year. Here is a picture with our National Flag Day, and this is a 100 meters flag and more than 100 people which comes with our WIS and celebrate the national flag to one of our highest peak from Romania. And one of our event which happens in every Thursday all around the country, Invictus volunteers, they run and dedicate their runs to our comrades wounded in theater of operations. And many other events our volunteers are organizing here in Romania: marathons, half marathons, cycling events, and so on. In the same time, they participate wearing Invictus t-shirt and promoting the Invictus spirit in international events. And we have here in the middle a guy who wins a lot of medals, and to all his competitions, Invictus spirit was with him, and we say thank you to him with this occasion. We have here the President of Romania, which is wearing Invictus t-shirt and promoting the Invictus spirit, and also the Prime Minister of Romania, which was also the Chief of Defense Staff. And we have Invictus in the water, in the air, and on the land, as you can see in the slide. So we have a big community here, and we try to promote the Invictus spirit and to be that small part of the Invictus games, which try to help our wounded comrades to continue their lives.
Wow. That is truly amazing, and really wonderful to hear about everything that's going on. You are extremely busy in Romania, and it's wonderful to see everything that's going on. I think what stands out for me as well is just the amount of projects and activities that you do, but also including volunteers and the actual civilian population and community, which is just truly amazing. So I really applaud you for all your work that you've done there. It's truly fantastic. John, we're going to come on to you next. You are one of our very active members in the community. Obviously, being over in the US, it's quite a far way away. So you've really taken on the virtual activities kind of sector. And how has the Beyond the Games virtual activities kind of helped you in your recovery?
Okay. So mainly the virtual, it's not just a physical thing, it's a mental recovery. So it over the last couple of years, I started out with the rowing challenges and getting into the different challenges. And not only every day does I feel better, I'm thinking more clearly. What I like seeing is a little competition, because we're all type A military types, and we get online and we see that somebody from New Zealand or the UK or from France has logged certain kilometers in. So it's a building thing. So really, what it has done is set conditions for a healthy environment for people who are newly disabled, who've got disabilities from our combat situations, from training situations. It really just sets the conditions for us. So I started out with doing the competitions, moved on to the the Marvel superhero challenges. I think I've done 5 of them. We're in one right now. I'm in Team Iron Man. I checked this morning. We're at like 22,000 kilometers. There's a group of 5 of us here in Tampa. So we're all at the disabled vets in this area. We've done the same team all 5 times. So we truly look forward to doing that every single time. It's one of those things we look forward to, and we thank you for allowing us here in the United States to join those teams. We've had a great time doing them. It's really helped set conditions for mind and body for recovery. Like I said, it's that healthy environment for recovery, and it's self-based, and a virtual environment helps us individually on our own timeline for recovery. So in doing the Marvel challenges, there's additional things. So I've got a quick little story here. You offered up the 22 London Marathon. So it's one thing that's helped me virtual is confidence. So I ran in college. I ran for the Marines since being injured. Yep, I can't really compete like that. But doing these challenges and being part of a team has given me the confidence to go, you know what, I'm going to try this. So I did. So I signed up for the 22 London Virtual Marathon. I trained for months. The day before, they said, download the app. It's okay, got it. But I trained on the treadmill. So I was ready to go. I was like, I'm for like 3.5, 4 hours. I'm going to watch TV and music. Well, guess what? The app does not work on the treadmill. So at 5:55 in the morning, the next morning, when I'm ready to start the marathon, I had to go outside in the wonderful Florida heat. I did it, accomplished it. So all those who are thinking about doing the virtual marathon, be aware, it is not on a treadmill. So good luck to you. So one of those opportunities that is provided for us is that we can try, and it's on our own timeline. So it truly has helped my confidence down the road.
That's truly amazing. It's really good to hear. And like I say, it's just that connection that we can get. Like you say, there's always that competitive spirit with all of us. If there's a Marine on it, I want to beat him. If there's an Aussie, or if there's whoever is on it, it really drives the community to kind of push themselves. And at the end of the day, if you push yourself, you become a better you. So it's really good to hear that. We're going to move on to Arena. Now, Arena, it's not all just the games. It's not all just about the WIS community or the WIS itself or the competitor itself. These guys, the family is usually at the epicenter of all this, dealing with all the hardship when it goes good, when it goes bad. And as you very sadly mentioned that your husband Aleski has last year passed away in the war in Ukraine. But before that, you guys have set yourselves a bit of a challenge and a goal. And now you're kind of trying to honor that in what you're doing. Please, can you tell us a little bit more about that, and also how the Beyond the Games activities provided by Invictus Games Foundation has helped you in your recovery as well?
Okay. So I'm very appreciate Invictus Games Foundation and Ukrainian team and the Great Britain team, because they helped me a lot, really. After my husband died, it was a very difficult period for me because we have 2 kids. I have to work. Nobody gives me time for rest, and I was depressed. I don't know what to do. I don't want to make any plans at all. I don't want to do anything. But one day, Invictus team said that I can run a marathon 2023 in London on behalf of my husband. And for me, it was like a sign, because Losha and I, we like to run a few years ago, before the war, and we planned to run my first marathon this autumn. And that's why for me it was like a sign, because I can run my first marathon, and on behalf of my husband. It was like a little miracle for me. I started to train. As you know, all physical activities is good for psychical, for my condition, my condition, my mental condition. I don't know. I started to train in a late autumn and whole winter. It was very bad weather, rain, snow, wind, and all time that I don't want to go for a run. I just think about the soldiers which are now fighting in the same conditions, and that's why I move on. I run, and for me it's like some kind of meditation. You are alone with your thoughts. You think, you move, you have some I don't know how to say it in English in correct way. You have some hormones that are producing while you are have physical activities, and it helps you. And when I was in London, the Invictus Games team London is a very, very cool person. You are really help people to become alive again. I continue to run for now, and I already have a plan to run another marathon and another. And I don't want to stop. I want to run. I'm happy that you are in my life. You really help me and my family. And I think that for now is very important for Ukraine, where too many such women as I. And it's very important for us that Invictus team helps not only injured soldiers, also their family. So it's a good opportunity, and I hope you will continue it, not only for me, for other women, for other wives. I don't know what to tell you more about this. Maybe you can ask something, because for me it's all personal and a little bit difficult to told you about my husband. He was a senior lieutenant. He was in volunteer battalion Azov, and he was a part of Invictus Game Ukraine. He has to run marine marathon in US, as I remember, but it was delayed of COVID, and he has to run a marathon in Germany, Berlin Marathon, yes, but he again delayed because he was on war. So.
No, Irina, I think there is no need to really ask you any more questions. It's really just so inspiring hearing your story and coming from the heart. There's no questions about it, but we do have a message here from one of the in-chat, the audience, Yolanda, and she just said, and all she says is that you are amazing. You're a strong woman. You are smart and you are beautiful. And she sends you all her love and support and big respect. And I think that's not just from her, that's from everyone on this panel today. It's, you know, the toughness that you have endured, you know, we can't even imagine that, and how you picked yourself up and carry on. And like you say, you're still active in the community and you're doing it in a different way. And I'm so pleased to see and to hear, and it's obviously it's a message to everyone else as well, that it's not always just about the wounded guys, it's about the friends and the family as well, because these are the people that's, you know, closest and nearest to those individuals. And I'm so glad and I'm so happy that we could have supported you in such a different way, and wonderful to hear that you're continuing to run, and that there's many more hopefully happy miles coming your way. So yeah, no, thank you so much for your time. We truly appreciate it, and your story, and we know that it's very personal to you as well. So thank you very much for sharing that.
Thank you too. Thank you for everything, really. It's from heart.
It's our pleasure. Well, everyone, this was, like I said, this was one of the panel 2 was the one I looked forward to the most, hearing from all of these amazing guys, what they do within the community, what they've gone on to do, what's going on. It really gives a big insight of just, again, what beyond the games and how powerful it is. This is the end of panel 2. We're going to shut this down now and then make ourselves ready for the next panel very soon. So please stay tuned and we will move on to panel 3. Hi guys, welcome back. So panel 3, the Invictus Endeavors adventure side. This is very interesting. This is a very great topic to have as well. And we have today with us Fiona, we've got Scotty, and we've got Nick, who we're going to talk to get a bit more of an understanding about the adventure side of everything that's going on. We've heard a lot about the Invictus challenges. We're now moving on to adventures, and this is a side that really excites me. I've been part of some of them in the past before, and they truly are amazing. And also knowing what's coming up to offer, it's really good to speak to you guys. So welcome to all of you on the panel today. Very similar to before, please just a couple of seconds to introduce yourself, and then we'll start getting into the chat. So Fiona, if we can please start with you, and then move on.
Hi, Jaco. Thank you. Lovely to see you as always. Fee Cranswick. I served in the Royal Air Force as a flight operations officer for 9 years before unfortunately sustaining a hip and spinal cord injury. Unfortunately, though, the Invictus Games Foundation set me on the track to Orlando to compete in swimming and quite literally got me back into the pool and back on my feet. And I've now done full circle, and I'm now the Invictus Endeavors program manager.
Amazing. Scotty, up to you next, pal.
Hi, Jaco. How you doing, buddy? Hi, I'm Scotty Darrick. I spent 10 years in the Royal Logistic Corps. Started off as a driver, then finished as a training instructor. Again, I had mental health problems while I was in the military. When I left, I moved on to close protection and then working with the MOD again. I was very fortunate enough to take part in 2 Invictus Games, 2016 and 2017. So I'm very lucky to see the power of what sport and these activities can do. And now looking forward to the next endeavor, which is happening this week.
Amazing. We'll speak about that in a little while. And then on to Nick. Good to see you, mate. Please tell us a bit more about you.
Thanks, Jaco, and thanks for all the hosting this afternoon. You've done a great job. My service history pales in comparison to every single other person on this call. My teenage years and the cadets don't add up to much when compared to all of you. So just admiration and huge respect for everybody. I'm Nick Kershaw, not an 80s pop star, but I am founder of Impact Marathon Series, which is a series of trail running races around the world. We have races go up an active volcano in Guatemala, through the Himalayas in Nepal, and what we'll talk about a bit later, through the desert in Jordan. Each one having a social impact right at the heart of the challenge that has a real community impact through the race that we're doing.
Truly insightful way to kind of, like say, take on a challenge and also having environmental impact as well. But like you say, we'll speak a little bit more about that. Faye, I'm going to come back to you first, please. So we heard a lot about Invictus challenges. We are now speaking about Invictus Adventures. Please, can you tell us what is the difference between the two? What does it mean, and how can some of the WIS get involved by these great activities?
Thanks, Jaco. I'm actually going to start with a similarity to the challenges, because something that we have in common with the Invictus challenges is that the Invictus Games Foundation funds them, or part funds them, which is incredible that we are able to do that. And we're very, very grateful to our sponsors and our donors that it does allow us to fund these kind of activities. The biggest difference, though, is that the challenges which Josh spoke about tend to be one-day events, a bike event, a London Marathon. The adventures, these are multi-day events. So they tend to be a week long, 10 days long, which is amazing, because actually it gives that extra time for that team building to take place, to get to know people better. And quite often, some of the most powerful moments are those ones when you're sat around a campfire in the evening, not when you're striding up a hill during the day. So the way that it works is we have organizations or individuals that approach us with an epic idea, and they say, we would like to take a team of wounded, injured and sick up a mountain in Morocco. We want to take them across the Atlantic in a boat. We want to go hiking in Scotland. And our role, and you sort of alluded to it earlier, that you sit on the board, we look at these ideas and we see if they're in line with what our aims are. And I guess what our aim is that every single WIS that downloads the app and signs up for the We Are Invictus app, when they open that app, they see something that is for them. And Dominic said it earlier, that the games, they are amazing, but they're not for everyone. Not everybody wants to go to the games. Not everybody can. And even people who go to the games, I certainly experienced this. Like it's amazing. And for that week, you're kind of a celebrity, and you're getting lots of messages on Facebook and loads of contact. And then suddenly you go back to normal life, and there's that post-games blues. So for me, having the app, that was where I found the continuation of that community and being able to continue to use Sport and Adventurous Challenge. So these organizations come to us with these ideas. We say, yeah, that is incredible. That is going to help our community. We make sure that it's going to be beneficial to as many people within our community as possible. So we have such a diverse group in terms of illnesses and injuries, and we want to make sure that there is something for every illness, every injury, every nation. So the next part of it is we look at our funding and we fund as much of it as possible. We want the WIS who take part in these to fully immerse themselves in that activity. We don't want them to worry about paying to go. So we will pay for flights to get there to and from their own nation. We'll pay for their food whilst they're there. We'll pay for their accommodation, any coaching they need, any specialist equipment. So when they go, it is purely about getting the most out of that activity and adventure. And already this year, we've been doing golf in Nigeria. We've been doing diving in Colombia. We've been hiking in Scotland, snow sports in Colorado, and we're currently kayaking in Alaska. So just on that list alone, I hope that there is something for everyone. And I'm sure that Scotty and Nick are going to tell us a bit more about what they've both got coming up.
Yeah, that's truly amazing. And I think the one thing that also stands out for me, I've sat on the board for actually quite some time now, actually since the beginning of the board. Excuse me. And I think looking at it now, where it is now and where we started from, it's amazing to see the diversity in the challenges that we have. We were so focused on the UK and these really, really big once in a lifetime expeditions, you know, like trekking to the North Pole or flying somewhere for months or unsupported or whatever it might be, to actually making it still tough. It's still big challenges and it's still multi-day stuff, but it's all over the world and it's open to everyone. And just seeing the uptake on it as well, it's the one thing that's really truly amazing. Like I say, through my time off the board and how we've changed and how the challenges coming our way that people approaches us is so unique and so amazing, and how they have such an impact on the WIS community. Scotty, we're going to come to you next, please, mate. So I know you very briefly mentioned your time in the army and a little bit about some of your suffering. So please, as much or as little as you want, please tell us a little bit more about your recovery journey and how that's gone and where you've gone to.
Sure. My recovery journey has started a long time ago, and everybody's recovery journey is a lot different. I did suffer a lot through addiction, through heroin, cocaine, alcohol, and then lots of suicide attempts. So it took me a long time to put my hand up and ask for help, but that's one of the biggest things you can do, is ask for help, and especially try to get onto the recovery journey. Once I got back on my feet and then applied for the games as such, I try and manage my mental illness and try and have a meaningful life for Joanne and I. And again, that's something that we have to put in place. I see Professor Paul Miller, my trauma psychiatrist. I do have complex PTSD and major depression disorder. And again, too, it's having that gear bag of things that I can now dip into, which I never used to have. When I used to reach for a bottle or some substance, I can now reach for an endeavor. I can reach for going up a mountain. I can reach for getting contact with some friends, not just from this country, but all through all the different nations, which is available. So my recovery journey has been long. It's been, and it will continue to keep moving forward, one step in front of the other, and then hence where I am now, managed to reach out to through the app and beyond the games, and then I applied for this endeavor coming up. But I'm sure you'll chat about that later on.
Yeah, no, mate, truly amazing to hear your story, and it's wonderful to see that you're making such good use of the support that is available to you. And like you say, I think the thing that I know, obviously on a personal note between you and us, and what I've picked up as well, is that you kind of utilized what you can for some period of time. You kind of dropped off a little bit, and maybe that was good. That was, life was good. You had a lot of things going on, and then you kind of felt the need to kind of pop back up and utilize the support that the foundation can give you. And that's exactly, for everyone out there listening as well, we can be there all the time. We can do certain parts of the time. We can be there whenever you really require us to be there and to need us, and to, like I say, actually pop onto some of the activities, have some time with like-minded people around you, and like you say, you've just signed up for you're soon off to Colorado to take on a Wild West kind of expedition, and I very much look forward to you experiencing that and coming back and telling us all about that. I'm just a little bit conscious of time, so if we do have a little bit of time, we're going to come back to you, Scotty, on that, and you can tell us a little bit more about that. Nick, I'm going to pop over to you. Not going to say too much. Please tell us more about Impact Marathon, how it works together with the Invictus Foundation. Over to you.
Yeah, so we've just recently started up working with the Invictus Foundation this year, really focused on our event in Jordan. So our events last 1 week, and only the final day is where the challenge event comes in. When you come out in country, we get involved in the community. We'll be volunteering. We'll be looking at sport for development projects near Amman, specifically around the refugee camps in Amman as well, due to Jordan having an open door policy to refugees from the conflicts in the region. So we'll be looking at sport for development for the first couple of days. We'll be also looking at one of the big challenges facing Jordan, which is water scarcity. So we'll be getting our hands in the dirt around permaculture and land management, and how you can extract more from the soil with less water, and there's some amazing natural technologies being developed in Jordan and sort of pioneered in Jordan. So we'll spend some time doing these things, learning more about Jordan from a totally different angle, seeing things in a way that you wouldn't get on any other experience, and sort of challenging people to look at the world slightly differently. Then we do a bit of the amazing part of why we love to travel and why travel's special. We'll be visiting Petra. We'll be probably floating around in the Dead Sea for a few minutes. And then at the end, we head down to Wadi Rum, and we head right down into the deep south part of the of Wadi Rum Desert. Not a soul in sight, and we're going to take on a marathon, essentially. So we've got 42 kilometer, the full distance, but we also have the 21 half and the 10. The spirit of an impact marathon is always just about the power of running. It's about the community. As you can imagine, when you've done all of those things in the build up, that group of people will be very, very close. And we as a team just get out there, and we don't time people. We don't have a lot of the things that you expect from a race. No, we just let you go out there, embrace that spirit, and we'll be out there looking after everyone back home to the finish. So that's kind of what is the case at any impact marathon. But let's, again, from time perspective, we'll focus just on Jordan today. And I believe the application process is now open on the We Are Invictus app for 10 people to come and join from the Invictus team. There'll be 20 other runners from all over the world as well joining. And really, really special, really excited to be working with everyone this year.
That's amazing. I was just about to ask you that. Is this available, and can people sign on and to go on the app and make sure that if they want to get involved, they can really just go on the app and follow the instructions there. That's really, really good to hear. We have a quick question, and we'll quickly make it, but it's just for you as well, Nick. Who kind of can partake within this? I.e., is there specification? Obviously, do you need to be able to run? Is there scope? This is a question from Nick. Is there scope for off-road kind of wheelchairs, or for hand bikes, marathons or ultras? How can these guys, is there certain events that's probably more kind of better for that and certain ones not? Very briefly.
Yeah, so the event in Jordan goes through the desert, and so there's a lot of hard packed sand, but most of it is soft sand, and so this event itself probably isn't going to be appropriate from that perspective. However, our hope is in the future to be able to open up. I know our Kenya course is definitely appropriate for that, and our Malawi one too. So hopefully in the future we'll work on some more ones.
That is truly, truly amazing. Well, guys, I'm just very conscious of the time. I think we've got everything we wanted out of that panel. Thank you so much. Amazing to hear of all the amazing stuff. Thank you for the personal stories and obviously all the amazing adventures that's due in the pipeline. Again, as I said to Scotty, very much look forward to speaking to you guys in person again, hearing about the amazing challenges you've gone on to do, the personal growth you find, and again, hopefully you can encourage other people to do so. So with that, I'm going to draw panel 3 to a close. I want to thank all of our speakers on all of the panels. Thank you very much for your insight, for your input, and for everything you've done for your community, for the WIS, and actually for the public as well. It seems like we are just touching lives everywhere, which is amazing, and which is really, 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 truly amazing to hear. We've heard from the team of our IGF monitors. They're all Invictus Games competitors, then going on to take on a different role within the Invictus Games community. We've heard from some of our moderators and managers all around the world and the wonderful jobs that they have done. And then obviously we've also heard from our family members and just the impact that we have on them and how we can help and support them, which is truly amazing. Remember, the app is there to be used, and do go on it, do switch on, and do get involved with as much of the sport and the recovery and the challenges and everything that's available on there. And if you're not on the app and you're liable to be on the app, please do sign on, get in touch with Mickey. She is the one running that, and she will get you on the app. Or if you know of someone that could actually get on the app and benefit from it, please do so as well. And if you've been inspired today, if you've partook in one of the events, and like we mentioned earlier, especially on the venture side, we have to fund these events and we will require some funding. So if you are willing to host a fundraising event in any capacity, we will very much help to support you in that, and also very much welcome that as well. From that, that's a wrap from myself.
Thanks very much indeed. Jaco, first of all, thank you for facilitating the conversation, our 9th conversation, doing that so expertly and so warmly, and it was great. I mean, we've, as you said, heard some fantastic stuff today. It's always inspiring to listen to all the people who around the world, as you say, members of our community who are doing great stuff. None of this would happen without the team. I'd just like to thank the team who I am really proud to call colleagues and friends. Absolutely brilliant. And also to mention our sponsors. Again, Armed Forces Covenant Fund Trust, Better Up, Boeing, Fisher House, and the ISPS Handler. Without them, we couldn't do what we do. I'd like to also just mention a report that we are going to be bringing out next year. We've done it in partnership with the Forces in Mind Trust. It's authored by Selina Shirazapur and her team, and it draws on research they did in Sydney and in The Hague, and it's called Beyond the Finish Line. And one of the recommendations that it comes up with is that we need to broaden programming to support non-competitors. And it's an evidence-based piece of research, and it's very interesting to see that actually during the pandemic, people's participation in online sport, in virtual sport, those who participated had the same sort of benefits in terms of well-being as competitors in the game. So it's proven to work. It absolutely is a part of what we do. We're oversubscribed for all this activity. There's fantastic activity out there, but we've got nearly 10 times as many people wanting to do it as spaces we've got available. So if you feel, having watched this, that you're moved to donate, to help to support our activity, to help increase the ability for people to get out there and to join in, then please do so. It would be fantastic to have that. Finally, I'd like to just say that the conversation is happening next, our 10th conversation in Dusseldorf. It's a hybrid event, so it will be live in Dusseldorf, but you'll be able to join online. So go to the website, have a look there. The website is where you can find everything you need. You can find links to the 10th conversation. You can donate if you're moved to do so, and you can join We Are Invictus. And We Are Invictus, download the app. If you've got friends or colleagues or friends of friends who you think would benefit from it, please get them to do that. It's a fantastic community that is being built and is growing, and it's growing fast, and it's growing in a really, really good way. And I'd like to just sign out, thank everybody for their contribution, and sign out with some videos that we've got to see.
Welcome in Austria. I'm Rick, and this is my happy place. It's not only about fishing, it's about the environment, it's about relaxing, it's about letting everything go. If you want to participate with this endeavor, sign up at We Are Invictus and apply. Don't miss it.